slipcover. Oh, I thought they had a whole couch on there.
You wish.
Well, you don't think they would?
Maybe.
They've had some crazy stuff on there. I can dream. Are we doing Laser Brains first?
Yeah, we're doing Laser Brains Traded Places, and
Yeah,
you are
that's what I was
live right now.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Are you... Is it the end of the world that I ask?
No. In fact, it's the beginning.
You're live!
It's the
Oh,
beginning
why are we
of
so
everything.
bright?
That's this TV.
I'm like bright red.
Now let's see, where am I? Did I put that camera in the right spot? Whoa! What are you
Okay, I
doing,
can't put my
guy?
feet up.
Oh, it's like an earthquake.
Why are you yelling at me?
Oh, yeah.
Because I was just trying to put my feet up.
I'm making excitement.
The camera's not normally there.
I don't know. Do you know anything about showbiz?
Because all I know is I put my feet up normally. And you got volume on the TV. Okay. Oh my god, that's blinding my eyes.
So what,
The
Brett?
purpleness of myself.
Do you have your phone for chat, or what's the story?
Oh yeah, I guess I could do that.
There's the beat
There we
man.
are.
He says he's feeling a little better today.
Woo.
Said he's gonna have
Hello.
some pork loin. And
I gotta be
something
honest,
else.
I really like my shirt.
Yeah, it's
Sorry. Sorry to break it to you. Oh, I got volume on here too. There we go. I know that you're going with another guy. Hello, everyone. Yeah, why do I need a phone if you have the chat up there?
So you can talk back?
Hey. How's that?
I like to interact. Alright, so obviously this is impromptu, but when somebody's here, you gotta jump on it.
Oh yeah, I thought you said you were putting this in the can.
I was going to, but then I thought, you know what? I'm gonna
Let's
put
just
the, I'm
do
gonna
it.
put the other thing in the can.
Okay. I guess I didn't realize we were live. I forgot.
Hello, Laserdisc lovers.
We're at 3. Nobody's gonna be here. They don't even know what we're talking about.
Well, remember, this is all archived.
That's her.
This one's a laser video disc. Extended play. So extended play usually means garbage.
Okay, great.
The good ones have 2 discs, and they slow record it so you get a better picture. But sometimes they
So
cut
it's just
corners
worse
and do
quality?
extended play, yeah.
Okay.
I would guess this is also a pan and scan.
Are you wearing that shirt again?
When did I wear it?
Didn't you wear it for one of our shows? I thought you
I've only
did.
got so many shirts.
Oh, well. No,
Sometimes
that's
you
not
can see
true.
a repeat.
You order 500 shirts a day.
That's so.
And I don't see one of them.
Because I give them to the church.
Oh, okay.
But,
You're a great guy.
yeah. It'll help with my.
I only have
friends.
so many shirts. Get out of here.
Oh, there's so many shirts. I can wear. By the way, somebody gave me this shirt.
Oh. La-di-da.
Some lady.
Some lady.
Anyway, we're gonna talk about Trading Places. This is a pretty famous movie.
Mm-hmm.
We watched it on Laserdisc. Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd should have been a complete home run because of their credentials. Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd.
Can you see me in the chat? Yes, I can beat after beat. He asked us a question. Sorry, I had to answer it real quick.
Right, no, that's
Sorry,
why,
go
that's
ahead.
why we had the feedback.
Go
So
ahead.
a lot of people love this movie. I am not the biggest fan of Trading Places.
So, you were just lying to me. You gave me a copy of Trading Places on Blu-ray and said this is a pretty good movie.
Pretty good,
Oh,
and it's a seminal movie.
okay. I got you.
People talk about this movie, so if you want a full background in cinema, this has got to be on the list.
You
of
gotta
some
watch
that
it.
People love this because if you're talking comedies, at some point,
And you seem to remember it pretty well.
well, I've seen it probably 5, 6 times.
Oh, I thought you said this was like one of the few times you watched it.
5, 6 times is a few.
Oh,
This
okay.
came out in 82 or 83, so. I mean,
Okay.
ask me how many times I saw Ghostbusters.
500 at least. At least 50 with me.
I saw it probably 15 to 20 times in the movie theater first run.
That's a pretty good one.
So, that's probably, when people ask me what is your favorite movie, I never have an answer because it changes every day, but Ghostbusters or Back to the Future, because those are the ones I've seen 100
Well, you also went to the orchestra performance of
I
Ghostbusters.
think we did a video on that.
I think, did we? Or
Yeah.
did we just talk about it at the beginning? I
No,
can't
I think
remember.
I think we talked about the
We did the whole
Ghostbusters
thing.
Symphonic, the whole thing.
Okay, that was really fun.
It's in the archive, so people you can watch it.
I didn't think it'd be that cool, but then I got 2 free tickets and thought it was great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, so do you want to lead us off? What is your review of Trading Places on the Laserdisc?
It was fun.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Woo!
Thanks for coming. See you later.
Yeah, I can see how much you enjoy when I do that. I mean, I like Dan Aykroyd. I like Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
I like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only people I knew of in that movie besides the 2 crusty white guys.
Mm-hmm. You knew them?
No?
Oh, that's what you're saying. I got you.
I was just saying there are 2 crusty white guys. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna get into plot, or am I just giving my thoughts?
We're gonna go through the whole story. Once
Okay.
you started, do you remember how it starts?
Dan Aykroyd's rich.
Right.
He's
really rich.
Executive.
But
right?
he's so rich, he's got a butler doing almost everything.
And like a mansion, or it's like
It's a townhouse
loft.
in New York. When you're in Manhattan, that's a mansion.
Okay. Well, it's the New York equivalent to a mansion. And he's got a butler, and he's like an executive. They were like handling a lot of money.
Right. So they work on the stock exchange, and
Mhm.
they buy and sell. What was it? I can't remember what the category, but it was like
There was orange
coffee,
juice,
orange juice.
orange juice, coffee.
I can't remember what they called it.
I know there was something else, and it's bugging me.
Gold, I think, was one of them.
Was gold one of them?
Well, I'm looking at the picture here. There's tea. That's coffee.
Okay. I just
There's
know the
orange
orange juice because I think that was important for some reason.
Well, it's just commodity. I think that's what they call it.
What's a commodity?
Right, and it's
Okay.
stuff like real tangible goods. You can invest in like Walt Disney,
Mm-hmm.
which is a movie company,
Yeah.
or you can buy
Invest in
coffee
orange juice.
or orange juice,
Yeah.
some commodities. So
Okay.
that's what they're about, and that's what he sort of runs the place,
Mhm.
Dan Aykroyd. But the 2 guys are in charge.
Yeah.
They're the ones making all the money.
And didn't we find out that it was sort of implied near the start that they were putting aside a big sum of money to pay somebody, but then they were like,
So how it starts out
yeah, how
is
did that?
they're on the stock market,
Mm-hmm.
and Dan Aykroyd does the payroll, and he walks in and has them sign, and he goes, "Hey, there's this weird guy on here, and he's getting a ton of money.
Yeah.
Who is this?" And they all look at each other and go,
Don't worry about
"Don't
it.
worry about it. We'll take care of that." What is
Yeah.
that guy? He is the guy that's getting inside information, which is illegal, and
Yeah.
handing it to them. So,
That's why he didn't tell him. He was just like, don't worry about it.
I think that they're waiting for the orange crop report from the
Mhm.
government, and if you can get a look at the report before they announce it, you know whether to buy or sell.
Yeah. And
So that's what they're doing.
that's the whole business part of it. The story, aka the name Trading Places, is Eddie Murphy was like outside the place he works, Dan Aykroyd's place, and he was sort of like
On the sidewalk.
he was sort of scamming people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He was
'cause
pretending he had no legs
He was pretending he had no legs and he was walking.
and blind
Yeah,
and on a little cart with wheels.
yeah, and he was trying to
walking with his hands.
trying to get money.
Right.
But then you find out he's fine.
Right.
That's the fun part about it. But he's got all this stuff going on, and the old guys are talking, and it's sort of like a My Fair Lady situation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're talking. They're like, I bet, depending on your circumstances, that really changes how you act. And
Well,
who
one
you
guy said,
become."
"Hey, Dan Aykroyd's doing a really great job," and the other guy
Mhm.
goes, "Anybody in that position can do a good job. It's
Yeah.
the position of the job." And so then they're like, "I bet not." So they decide to bet each other that they can swap Eddie Murphy for Dan Aykroyd, and Eddie
Mhm.
Murphy will turn into a good person, not be a scammer.
And Dan Aykroyd will become said scammer.
Because what started was Dan Aykroyd was leaving the building,
Mm-hmm.
and Eddie Murphy accidentally bumped into him, and Dan Aykroyd starts screaming that he's being robbed and
Mm-hmm.
handing him his wallet.
So, racist.
And they were watching this, so they
Mhm.
decided to swap those two on a bet to see what would happen.
Just see,
And
yeah.
the bet, of course, was for $1.
Yeah, but you find that out later.
So you're gonna no right. You find out right away.
Nuh-uh.
The characters don't find out till the end.
Oh, I thought we didn't find out. We didn't find out that it was $1 until later.
Right away.
Are you
You
sure?
go, the usual $1? And he goes, yes.
No, he said the usual, like, bet. That's what he said.
They said $1.
No.
Alright, well.
We'll go ask our
When you
friends
guys-
who watched it with
When you guys
us.
watch Trading Places, and you'll know, you'll be able to see it.
100% they didn't reveal to us it was $1 until later. We thought it was like, oh, the usual amount for the bet. Because it's
Well, perhaps my foreknowledge got me, but I don't
it's
think
more
so.
shocking when you find out later.
Well, certainly the characters are pissed.
Well, especially to the viewers, it would make sense too.
But so they're going to ruin the lives of two people
hmm
over $1. That's how rich and snarky and above everybody they think they are.
So what they do is Dan Aykroyd's character, they set up sort of a situation where it looks like he has like drugs on him, right? Or stole some money.
Well, what
What was
it
the
is.
drug thing?
So what happens is when they decide to do it, that guy Beeks,
Uh-huh.
who's all their fix-it man, gets secret reports and does a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
He goes into the club and puts a marked bill in Dan Aykroyd's wallet.
Mhm.
And then he gets everybody in the room and says, somebody is a thief here at the club.
Mhm.
I've marked a bill, and we're going to go check. And they go over to Dan Aykroyd's wallet, and they pull out the marked bill.
Mhm.
And so then he gets arrested right there.
Yeah, and he is accusing Eddie Murphy too, right?
Right.
He's like, he bumped into me. He wants to set me
But
up.
not for the 20.
Yeah.
This is after. There's they also plant drugs on him.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. They planted drugs on him, so people think he's
A druggie and a thief.
selling drugs too.
And a thief.
Because you got to remember, outside of the police station, they hire Jamie Lee Curtis, who's a hooker.
That was after he gets out, though. You're
Yeah.
jumping ahead.
Oh, that's
Because
what I was just saying.
he
Oh, we
goes-
got to talk about every single step
Well, you got to tell everybody that he's in jail.
for stealing the money.
Right.
I thought we got that.
Well, but I mean, he didn't just go to jail. He's stuck in there for a while. There's a couple of scenes in the jail.
Okay.
Then when he finally gets out of the jail for his girlfriend, that's when Beeks has a hooker come up to him and say some stuff like they know each other in front of the fiance.
And also that he
she
sells
gets mad and storms
drugs
off.
to her. She's like, I need another fix. You know, kind of thing.
Right, after he said, no, I don't do drugs or sell them.
Yeah, and then she comes up and confirms that he sells drugs.
Right.
But it turns out the guy's just paid that chick to go up there and do that. To make
Right.
him look bad and lose his fiance.
The fiance takes off.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, all his credit cards are canceled, so they don't work.
hmm His
He-
butler is just pretending he doesn't know him anymore.
He goes to his house to get in, and the butler pretends he's never seen him before.
And he's like, get out of here.
Right.
So he's losing everything.
He lost. He's penniless, and I don't even understand the clothes he's in. I think they were like Goodwill or something.
Yeah.
They're all crazy clothes.
They just like gave him whatever clothes they had, and
So Jamie Lee Curtis feels bad and lets him go to her house. Then what happens?
No, there's not really like romance blooming yet, right? That's kind of later.
No, he's
This
in,
is
he's
sort of
in,
this-
spiraling out of control mode.
Well, then you switch over to Eddie Murphy, and you get to see that suddenly the guys are like, "Hey, we want to offer you a job," and he thinks
He
like
wants
something's
another
up.
catch.
Yeah, what's up?
Mhm.
Because they like invite him into the limo or whatever, and they're like, "We are gonna give you this apartment and this great job and all this money and blah 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 blah." And he's like, "What's the catch?" Because he's a scammer, he knows too good to be true kind of thing.
Right.
And it takes a while to convince him that this stuff is his. Because, like, they put him in the apartment and they're like, this is yours now. And he's like, nah, that's not mine.
So anyway, at some point, Eddie Murphy starts getting into the mode and actually starts doing the work. They clean him up, put him in a suit.
And he starts being a little prissier, too. He's being rich.
So what happens is he has a bunch of friends over to the apartment,
For a party.
and they're stomping his couch and spilling drinks, and and he starts turning into a apartment owner.
Yeah.
Everybody get out of here! You're all leeches. He
Yeah.
totally flips. So they were correct in that point.
Mm-hmm.
Because the next scene in order to win the bet, Dan Aykroyd's got to commit some kind of real crime, not ones they planted on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he shows up with a gun to the club.
He's saying I'm set up. He was going to go get Eddie Murphy, right?
He was going to kidnap Eddie Murphy and make him confess because he thinks Eddie Murphy set the whole thing
Yeah, that he switched their jobs and all these opportunities and everything because he saw him with his job and he's like, "There's no way,"
up. Right.
because that guy was scamming us like 2 days ago. It's got to be him setting it up.
So yeah, the bet was that he would turn to crime and Eddie Murphy would rise above.
And he was dressed as Santa, right? Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah, because he was all drunk. Yeah.
And it was like a Christmas party, I think. Christmas
He
work
was
party.
sneaking in.
Yeah, he dressed up as Santa and was gonna get Eddie Murphy and.
So at that point, the two realize something's up
Mm-hmm.
because either one didn't do that to each other, and they figure out they're being scammed. I don't know if they overheard it. I can't remember.
I think Eddie Murphy overheard it. He was in the bathroom
Mhm.
smoking a doob,
Oh, that's right.
if you remember. And the two guys come in and talk in the bathroom about the bet and everything. And then that's when you find out it was over $1.
Mm-hmm. That's when Eddie Murphy gets mad about it. He
Yeah.
goes and gets Dan Aykroyd and says, "Let's go teach these guys a lesson."
And Jamie Lee Curtis is involved.
She's
too.
involved too. Now that she's the girlfriend or something's cooking there.
Yeah, they just kind of live together at that moment. But they definitely do start.
Yeah, at some point she softens up.
Yeah. And he could love a hooker, even though he used to be rich and fancy and everything. He had that fiance who was kind of stuck up.
And I think the lesson there was she's real,
Mm-hmm.
and the other chick is in the clouds.
Yeah.
Because she's never had to do anything or produce anything.
Mm-hmm.
So he sort of learns a good lesson, is that here's the real world. You shouldn't float around looking down on everyone,
So
because
he
you
was.
could easily be in that position, which is a pretty good lesson actually.
Yeah.
But so they come up with a scheme to make a false orange report.
Mm-hmm. They have to locate the guy who's been getting all the info for the old guys
Steal the real report and switch
and put
it
in
with
a
the
fake
one.
one. Yeah.
And this whole sequence on the train, and that's Dan Aykroyd shows up in blackface, which you were
Mhm.
aghast.
Dan Aykroyd? I know him from Ghostbusters, man. That's
This
the kind of thing
this
you
is
don't see.
82, 83, somewhere in there. There was no problem with blackface at that time.
But that was crazy, man.
It was jarring.
It was
just
jarring.
because of today's sensibilities.
And then Eddie Murphy was like,
But Eddie Murphy had no problem with it.
yeah, he was like just Jamaican, right?
No, he
Isn't
was like African. He had this hat on. He had this
Okay.
like fly thing to get flies away. This like fan looking thing.
And then Jamie Lee Curtis was the Switzerland
Yeah,
kind of
Inga.
girl. Yeah.
Yeah, Inga.
Which nobody understood why they were dressed up or acting like that.
Right. I think it wasn't it a costume party on the train or something.
I think they.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I think there was a
either.
party on that train somewhere.
There was a costume party on the train.
I think so.
But then why were they getting into character?
I don't know.
You know, because that's not a
They-
costume at that point.
Perhaps I'm confused.
Yeah, I.
But
No,
so
but
anyway-
I remember them saying something about a party, and I was like, huh?
But so they all dress up so you can have a bunch of comedy stuff. So this
Yeah.
is where the comedy comes in, where it's really thick at this point. Everybody's acting silly. And for some reason, there's a gorilla on the train.
Yeah, they're transporting a gorilla.
And it's the dumbest looking gorilla suit you've ever seen, but
Mhm.
everybody treats it as real.
Yep.
And Beaks winds up trapped with the monkey in the cage.
Yeah, he gets put in a gorilla suit, and he can't get it off.
So he gets his punishment for what he does.
Mm-hmm.
They deliver the fake report to the I can't remember their names, but they're brothers,
Yeah, whoever.
Duke brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They and I can't remember if they said the crop was going to be good or bad. I think they said it was going to be bad, so they sell all of their oranges.
And they were gonna go like get something else, but then you end up finding out that.
Well, if you dump all the oranges at a high price and then
Mhm.
it drops, you make money
Okay.
because then you buy it back at a low
I don't
price.
care, so I'm just gonna go with you on
So
this.
anyway, they set themselves up for that, and then all of a sudden the guy comes on the TV in the report. But right before that, Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy are buying up all of the oranges.
Mm-hmm.
The report comes out. It's the opposite. They panic, try to run down and reverse it, but at this point, it's all going up.
Mm-hmm.
So Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd become millionaires,
Mm-hmm.
and the Duke brothers are ruined.
Yep.
Penniless.
They're gone.
They're
Yep.
thrown out of the stock exchange. They don't have special seats anymore or anything.
Mm-hmm. So they reversed it back on them.
And then
That's
the
their
last scene
medicine.
is them in a tropical island, all drinking and happy.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's on a boat. I can't remember. I think it was the butler. 'Cause
Yeah.
The butler was in on it too.
Yeah, the butler ended up being in on it.
So
'cause-
they're all millionaires, and
Mhm.
Dan Aykroyd's with Jamie Lee Curtis on the beach too.
Happy ending.
What do you think of that movie?
I thought it was good. I don't know if I'd watch it again.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at. I watched it once. I
So you wouldn't want to see Dan Aykroyd in the makeup again?
probably not.
You wouldn't want to see that other guy trapped with a real gorilla?
Well, I just don't think it's a very rewatchable movie. You know, it's got to be like really good for me to rewatch it. I think I saw it, funny, moved on.
And I think that's one of the issues, is it's not like joke. There are
Mhm.
humorous situations, but there's not that sort of
It's not
relentless
Ghostbusters.
joke. Yeah, there's not that
It's no
kinda-
Ghostbusters.
There's no kind of it's not very amusing to watch, other than you're watching the switcheroo, and once you know all of the beats,
Mm-hmm.
really what's the point? So I understand.
It's
but
a
that's
story
why I
they've been
think it's-
doing forever too.
But that's why I think it's not that. Like if those two weren't in it, I probably wouldn't even watch the movie.
Probably. Like I said, it's just another My Fair Lady clone.
Right.
It's
something
basically
like
at the end of the day, that's what it is.
right, that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
Pretty
probably-
Women.
I think it's originally The Prince and the Pauper was the book.
Was that the one?
Well,
think it might
there's a
have
real
been.
prince who hates his life, so he finds
switches it
a
with a
commoner
pauper.
that looks just like him, and they swap.
I know, I saw the old Hello Kitty cartoons.
Well, there you go.
They did it
folks.
for you.
Hello Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what we think about it.
Yep.
You gonna watch it? Not? You want to buy this now?
We'll move on.
Here it is. Look at it. It's in beautiful condition. Look at the condition of this, and it's in one of these little flaps. And look at the smiles on their faces.
I did kind of do that move. I was complaining about my car, like at work or something,
Mhm.
but then I was like, actually, I take that all back. You want to buy it? And then I gave an outrageous number.
That's
I'm like, no,
funny.
it's actually great.
They get the joke.
She thought
or-
that was funny.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Some people just go,
Huh?
"What are you trying to do to me?"
Yeah.
Some people are a little flat.
Nah, they got it.
All right. So thank you for watching this special edition of Laser Brains.
Laser Brains.
This is the whole point of this channel with the Laser Brains are these things.
Everything we've watched on the Laserdisc has sucked. And also, I told you
I don't
before.
think this sucks.
Yeah. I haven't found anything I'm in love with yet.
Yeah.
I told you before we started doing this that I was gonna be gone at school like every day of the week, and I'm like, "Are you sure you want to start this now?" And you're like, "Yeah." No, we never do
yeah.
laser.
Well,
never
but
do
here we
laser.
are with
Yeah.
a laser. We actually watched this thing,
Mm-hmm.
which is the real problem with the situation.
Watch it.
Is you gotta watch it on the laser disc.
Yeah.
If you're not here, you can. You don't have a laser disc at home, right?
Like, nope.
And
That's
you
why
sure
I
as hell
said.
don't have a copy of it.
That's why I said I'm gonna be gone all week. How are you gonna do this?
Well, I guess you're not.
Yeah.
But here it is. A yachty.
Have a great day, everybody. Beat after
Thanks for
Pizza.
being there, Beat. Hope you
Thanks,
feel better.
Beat.
And
You want me to go
anybody
turn it off?
watching this, yeah, you can. Thank you for watching Laser Brains. We will do more. There's a lot more.
You ready? Oh, it's covering the thing.